Yo, what is going on, guys? Nuxter here. I'm a YouTube director for the Strictly Business channel, up-and-coming recruit. Gonna be bringing you guys this Gfinity predictions video with my buddy Ghost. Say what's up, Ghost.
What's going on, guys?
So we've already tried filming this video a couple times, and the first time my internet went out was great timing, I know. And the second time our buddy Ghost over here had some pretty wild predictions, you know, he wanted to tone it down for the second video. So basically, Gfinity is one of the largest international events that's hosted in Europe. At Gfinity, there's going to be one North American team for every European team, so there's going to be a lot of fierce competition from across the pond. This is going to be the biggest tournament of the year for Gfinity. The prize pool is $100,000. That means players will get $12,500 for taking first place with a $50,000 prize pool for the first place spot.
Yeah.
This is a pretty important tournament for a lot of players. They really want a lot of that money that's up for grabs at this Gfinity. There are going to be top North American teams flying over and top European teams taking the trolley over there. It's pretty insane. So basically the way the Gfinity event is going to be held is basically by a group stage. So there's 4 groups and there's 4 teams in each group, and the top 2 teams from those groups, and basically those 2 teams are seeded from a round robin. So each team plays each other within that group, and then the top 2 teams from those groups advance into a bracket play. The first seeds play the second seeds, and the second seeds play the first seeds. It's going to be pretty crazy. That's how the brackets will be decided. Without further ado, let's get right into the groups. And in the group A, we've got Optic Gaming, Hyper Games, Team Envy, and VWS Gaming. What can you say about Optic Gaming? These guys have won 6 championships during all of Advanced Warfare. Dominant slayers on this roster. They can't really be matched in terms of their raw skill. These guys have done it all. The only real way I can see Optic Gaming even doing badly in this pool is if they get super outperformed like they do against like FaZe or Denial or top teams, but it's got to be a top team, so I can't really see them doing really poorly in this group. If we look at Hyper Games, they're the French team of this group. I don't really think they're going to make it out of this group. They could potentially pull a 3rd seed, but overall, the French scene hasn't been doing as hot as it has been in the past. I don't think Gataga's even in this event, so I don't really think these guys are going to make it out of the groups, but they could pull a 3rd seed. I could see that happening. Up next, we get Team Envious. We have the lineup of JCap, Looney, Aqua, and Octane. Pretty nice lineup, in my opinion. A lot of solid raw talent on them. And then after them, we got VWS Gaming, a British team I don't know too much about, so I don't really have high hopes for them. So with all that being said, who do you have first coming out of this pool, Ghost?
Definitely it's going to be Optic Gaming. They've had a great team, and they've always performed well at Gfinity, and they've always placed very, very well there. And honestly, they're the team that it's going to take a lot of effort for a lot of other players to really try and take on. And my second place team for Group A is obviously going to be Team Envious. Obviously. They have a great roster team, and it's going to be awesome to see them two compete again, and just seeing them back in Gfinity going incredibly well as they did before.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Optic Gaming and Team Envious just look too strong. Optic Gaming, obviously, top 2 roster in all of Advanced Warfare. Team Envious, another top squad with a lot of nice talent on there. The other 2 teams, they could potentially pull an upset. I'm not going to put it past them, but if they're mediocre teams, it's, you know, 9 times out of 10 Optic Gaming and Team Envious are going to come out first and second in this pool. The next 3 pools are probably harder to judge just because they have 3 solid teams in each of the pools, so you could make an argument for a lot of the different combinations of who's making it out, but definitely going to be looking out for the next group here. Group B, do you want to read that off?
Yeah, I got you right here, man. Right. Group B, we have FaZe Clan, Team Infuse, Team Caliber, and Liquid Gaming.
Right away, FaZe Clan just sticks out to me. I mean, they beat Optic Gaming, so I think they have a really good shot at taking first in this pool. What do you think?
Honestly, dude, it's going to be tough. FaZe Clan is a great team. They got 2 champions on that team with Itachi and Clayster there.
Itachi, I love it. Yeah, no, Itachi and Clayster.
Yeah, it's just those 2 guys are monsters. You know they're going to perform extremely well. And having Enable there as well is just going to be another added bonus to their repertoire of
Yeah, don't forget Zuma. This guy single-handedly won them their series against Zuma, Optic Gaming.
You got Enable, Zuma, and just seeing those 2 guys there as well are amazing, amazing team. They're going to definitely take out Infuse in a matter of straight fire with these guys.
Yeah, Team Infuse is interesting. I think they're the type of team that can make an upset happen, make that second clinch spot happen over Team Caliber. Yes, I think with that being said, I think FaZe is just going to take the first seed. They're just looking too dominant not to do that. If you look at Liquid Gaming as well, I don't know too much about them. They could clinch the 3rd seed over TK or somebody like that. Overall, I just don't think they're in a strong enough region to compete with the likes of FaZe. So in this group, it definitely comes down to Infuse and Team Caliber. Who do you think is going to make it out of between those 2?
I'm going to go with my gut here, and I'm going to stick with Team Caliber. I know that Team Caliber has a very good veteran team with Neslo, Sharp, Looney, and Nameless. And having to see them all there again, it's going to be very awesome to see them play again. I know they don't have the greatest KD coming up in this matchup.
Yeah,
but honestly, yeah, their KD's pretty bad. But
it's interesting, I think. But I just really don't see Team Caliber beating out Team Infused, and if they go head to head, because Team Caliber, they just had a really underwhelming performance at UMG Dallas. Very bad placing for those guys. Nameless, their top Slayer, only 1.02 KD, so he's their best player, barely going positive. And I think one of the main things in a Slayer is that you need a guy like that to go like 1.3 KD or something absolutely absurd like Scumpy and Formal. Nameless just simply doesn't put those numbers up, and then you have Sharp Theory, who aren't really doing well in the slaying department. I think they have 0.85 KD, so you really need a solid performance out of Nameless, Neslo, their entire roster, and I just don't see them doing it. And especially if they're going against a Team Infused, a foreign team, they could probably get upset by like a crazy style or crazy strategy that they use, so I don't see TK winning it.
That's going to be a tough matchup to see then, man. I can't wait.
Now, moving into Group C, we've got Team Elevate. These guys have had a lot of roster shifts recently with Denial, and they have substitutes coming in, so they're not going to have the biggest chemistry, but they're still very strong on paper. These guys have a lot of skill to them. Epsilon EU, this is probably one of the top European teams. They're like 6-0 in the league or something. Ridiculous performances out of Mad Cat, and those guys are really looking solid. Then you have Rise Nation, basically a new roster sprouting out of Season 3 with, Chino, Wheats, Apathy, and Burns Off, so new team. And then IGI Esports, sort of unknown. These guys are probably going to take 4th in the pool. We'll have to see how they perform, though.
I definitely can see Epsilon taking up on that on the first seed, taking the first. And second place, I definitely would go with Team Elevate. They've always performed well. They've always had a good team. And so as Epsilon, as always, they've always had a great Call of Duty team. And they are one of the best EU teams.
Yeah, man, like Epsilon is like 6-0 in the European League, and if you look like Rise Nation, they're only 3-6 in the American region, so they're already doing poorly here, and they don't really have a consistent roster on LAN. Chino doesn't have those really breakout performances that you need. Sometimes he chokes under the pressure in those highlight reel moments. Apathy is really their only solid player, and maybe in Burns Off as well, you can get like a 1.2 KD out of. But if he doesn't have that solid star performance, I don't think they're going to clutch up against Epsilon or against Elevate, who've got really solid rosters, who've got the star power, who really they can't use to succeed. I think it comes down to Epsilon and Elevate, and I just don't think Rise can even fit in that equation.
It's going to be a good matchup, man. I can't wait to see that one as well. Having Elevate there and having Epsilon, two great teams that are going to go head to head. I can't wait to see that gameplay.
So who do you have coming up first, Epsilon or Elevate?
Oh, I'm having Epsilon.
Oh wait, so you have Epsilon taking the first seed in the Group C. I've got Elevate just because they're in a tougher region and top players from multiple teams. They've got the experience from replays as a world champion. Even still, I think Epsilon, they have a fair chance at making the upset happen, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Alright, looking at Group D, we've potentially got the group of death here with Optic Nation, Vitality Storm, and TCM Gaming, with Spirit Gaming being sort of the throwaway team. I don't know, what do you think about them?
I don't know, anything could happen, man. I've never really seen many Spanish teams come up playing in G Infinity like this before. This is probably my first time seeing or hearing about them, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing about these teams, man. You just don't know. Like, let's say they make an upset happen over like Optic Nation, and if they lose their next 2 games, they're 1-2. But if 2 other teams go 1-2, there's potentially a 3-way tiebreaker that's based on map count. And I don't think they're 3-0ing any team in this group, so they're probably going to get eliminated right there. There's really no chance for this team, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. I think Spirit Gaming has. I've never really heard much about them, really know anything about their roster or how well they've played before, whether they're being a top AM team or being a very good AM team. But seeing the caliber of teams that are on this Group D, I mean, I know that if I had to choose right now, like honestly, I would have gone with Optic Nation, but seeing as they did so bad at Dallas.
Yeah, they didn't even make it out of pool play at Dallas.
Yeah, they didn't even make it out of pool play, and they got beat very quickly at the matters of just them playing a very good team. And seeing that as TCM has been a good team as always, and seeing Vitality having Tommy and Remy and many other great players on there, it's tough because Vitality is another great team, another great EU team as well.
Yeah, Vitality's a ridiculous team. These guys are like 6-0 tied with Epsilon for the first spot in their league. They've got Tommy on maybe potentially the best player in all of Europe. He's been called that a lot. I mean, is there anyone really in these 4 teams that can really beat Tommy in a 1v1? Like, just based on skill alone, I think this guy may be the best player in this entire group.
I doubt anybody can really take on a great Slayer like Tommy, but he is one of those players that I'm surprised Optic or FaZe or any other AM or any good NA team has ever really taken up to picking up this guy.
Yeah, not just, Tommy. He's got so much support as well with Watson and PD. Those guys have played together for so long. They've placed top 4 in Europe so consistently. So, like, I don't really see any way this doesn't end up in a first place seeding because, honestly, Tommy, man, this dude's a monster.
I think Vitality's going to take first. They're going to beat Optic Nation in a matter of just 3-0 on them. And then TCM as well is going to take out Spirit Gaming. And they're going to knock them down, and they're going to just take it up on their own level.
Yeah, let's not forget either that Vitality Storm like placed in the Money at COD Champs, besting some teams in NA that you would expect to take first, and then obviously being the best team in all of Europe. So these guys really have a good chance. And I think would you give the second seat to TCM then?
Yeah, TCM, I have them second. Vitality, I have them going first.
Yeah, let's not forget, TCM was sort of the dark horse of UMG Dallas. They ended up placing 5th with the duo of, Aches and TP. These guys have really, after, the Complexity EG days, sort of fell off, but now they're coming back together, trying to make that alliance happen. And they got Jerd and Moose on their sides. Top players, Jerd considered the European Scumpy at one point, so definitely a ridiculous lineup that they've got here.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got Achis, TP, who were great players. They've always been great players. And then you have Jared as well, like you mentioned before, who was like the Scumpy of the EU. I mean, having those three guys together and having the placings they did in Dallas, they did really, really well. Having to be the only team that they thought were going to lose badly, and they placed 5th, doing so well on the bracket, is going to be a team to very much so expect to see do very well.
Yeah, and if people were concerned about the head-to-head between Optic Nation and TCM, you can just look at the placings from UMG Dallas. UMG Dallas, Optic Nation didn't even place top 8.
No, absolutely. You make a very good argument. Absolutely, that's one reason why they're not going to win. They did so bad in UMG Dallas. I mean, Optic Nation, I would have thought they had a great team and they had good chemistry, but the way they did in Dallas, they got beat really quickly in a matter of seconds in their pool, and then in the losers bracket as well. And getting eliminated right off the spot. It's sad, but I mean, I would have gone with them, but seeing as they did so very bad in Dallas, I mean, I can't even see them placing that well.
So as a, sort of brief recap of this entire segment of the pool play section, I was looking at our 2 picks, and the only real difference that we have, neglecting seeding, is the fact that you chose Team Caliber over Team Infused. Do you want to just quickly clarify why you made that choice?
They are a veteran team. I've never really seen or heard many team players from Infused. Other than that, I mean, I think they're going to take them. I mean, if you really sit down and look at it on paper, they're really good players. They've all been competitively well. They've placed well before. They don't have that bad of a seeding. Seeing as they are now, I've never really seen many good players on Team Infused that I've heard of, or maybe even have heard of. But I honestly believe that Team Caliber's got them. I think if it's a fair gameplay and they have them and they can take them on SND Hardpoint or Capture the Flag or even Uplink, they're going to take them down.
Alright, so looking at the first round matchup, we both got Optic Gaming versus TCM in the first round. Who do you think's taking that?
Definitely Optic Gaming.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to choose Optic Gaming in this spot, but in the next round of my winners bracket, I have got Team Elevate versus Team Infused. I think I'm giving it to Elevate. Just they've got a stronger roster, I think, even though there are a couple substitutes here and there. I think their skill is just going to outshine the skill that Infused has. And FaZe Clan versus Epsilon, this is going to be a pretty difficult first round matchup. So who do you think is going to take that?
I'm going to safely assume it's going to be an amazing match. I'm going to go with Epsilon taking out FaZe. I just think Epsilon has a better team. They've placed better and they've done very well. Even though they got Call of Duty Championship players on there, it is not to take credit away from FaZe, but I think Epsilon's got a better matchup against them. And they're playing in EU. They're pretty much their yard, and it's going to be a better game for them.
Yeah, that's an interesting prediction. Just remember that this is only on my side of the bracket, so you've got something different. But I think in this matchup, I give it to FaZe just because, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. 2 World Star players. They beat Optic Gaming at UMG Dallas just so recently, so obviously I want to give it to FaZe, but I think Epsilon could make that upset happen. I wouldn't be too surprised if it happened. And in my final losers round matchup, we've got Vitality Storm versus Team Envious. I'm really uncertain of how this map is going to go, but I think I might give the edge to Vitality Storm.
I'll take that definitely. It's gonna be hard. Envy's got a good team, but Vitality has a monster player there, and Tommy is a horse. This guy will outrun you, outslay you. He will do everything he can to beat you. He's got the caliber. He's got the players. I think Vitality definitely takes him.
All right, so that's the first 4 matches from my side of the bracket. But if we look at yours, you've got the same Optic Gaming versus TCM. And then you've got Epsilon versus TK. Who do you think's winning that one?
Oh yeah, Epsilon takes them.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think Team Caliber just isn't as consistent as they need to beat a team like Epsilon.
They're not gonna beat Epsilon, no way.
All right, and then you've got FaZe and Elevate. Who do you think's winning that first round matchup?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Got good players on both sides, but I'm gonna go on a safe route here and go with FaZe Clan. I think they're gonna take them.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that because FaZe, they just came off a tournament win, and then on top of that, Elevate doesn't have their full roster, so it's gonna be, I think, a pretty big stomp in FaZe's favor. I
don't know. I mean, anything could happen. If Elevate wins, more power to them, but it's going to be a very good matchup. I mean, I definitely would cheer on for Elevate, but I think FaZe has them. Yeah. I think they have better players on their team, with Enable, Zuma, and Clayster and Itachi, man, that's gonna be tough. That's tough.
All right, and in your final round, you had Vitality beating out Envious. I had the same thing. So now, if we both look at our top four, it's kind of interesting. I've got Optic Gaming, Team Elevate, FaZe Clan, and Vitality Storm, and you've got Optic, Epsilon, FaZe, and Vitality. So basically, the only difference is that you've taken Epsilon, and then based on how the bracket works, I've got Elevate. But it's kind of interesting if you look at it. But now, if we're looking at the actual next level matchups, I have Optic versus Elevate. I think Optic's winning that just based on the same reason. Elevate doesn't have the complete roster, but we both have FaZe Clan versus Vitality Storm. This is gonna be a good matchup. Who do you think is gonna take that?
It's tough because they're good teams as well. But I'm gonna definitely stick with Vitality. They're just a really good team. I think they're gonna have a better chance against them.
Oh, so you think FaZe is losing to Vitality?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. I would have FaZe actually winning out on this because if you look at the head-to-head matchups, the only really one that I could see like going in, Vitality's favor is the one with Tommy and whoever he goes against. So, if you look at Zuma, this dude hard carried the finals against Optic Gaming. He's ridiculous. If you look at Clayster, ridiculous battle, never really misses. Then you have Enable clutching up in the SMDs and Attach, world champion, really just crushing it in the SMG role. I don't see how Vitality beats FaZe just head-to-head.
No. I think either way, FaZe has a better team on paper and on roster. They have the better players. But again, anything could happen, and I think this is going to be a good matchup. Vitality has a good team, so does FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan has 2 champions on their team, and including the other 2 players that are on that team that are very just as well as good. They could back it up as well, but it's going to be a good matchup. Definitely going to see that one.
All right, so that leaves us. I've got an Optic Gaming versus FaZe final, and you've got an Optic Gaming versus Vitality final. Who do you think's winning between Vitality and Optic Gaming? I think it's pretty clear in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Optic on that one. I mean, I don't think they're gonna have a chance against Optic. I mean, other than if they could pull a horseshoe out of somewhere, then maybe.
It's interesting the way you set your bracket up because now FaZe isn't even in the finals, and if they came from losers brackets somehow, then you've got Optic Gaming who can potentially win in 2 best-of-5 series. But if Optic Gaming were to somehow come out of losers bracket, maybe they lose to FaZe in the finals. If it's a best-of-1 or best-of-5, but only 1 series is played, I think Optic Gaming still won that. But yeah, I think Optic Gaming on your side would win against Vitality, and on my side, if it's a best-of-1 or best-of-1 series, if that makes sense. And if they're in the winners bracket, they'll win. If they're in the losers bracket, they lose. But we don't even know if there's a losers bracket.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, again, it's gonna be a good matchup. I can't wait to see that one. FaZe and Optic has always been a good matchup, and always seeing 2 great teams going at it. You're saying FaZe is gonna take them out. I don't know.
No, don't get it confused. So I have Optic Gaming winning, but if FaZe are somehow in the winners bracket, they'll beat Optic Gaming. But if it's only 1 best-of-5, Optic's gonna win. I think.
Yeah. I think if I had to go with the safe route too here, I definitely think FaZe would take them. Yeah, I think FaZe will take out Optic because I think they have the better team. If it happens, I think FaZe has the better team, has the better chemistry, has the better players.
So that's interesting because you're saying that Optic Gaming would end up beating Vitality in the finals, but since Vitality already beat FaZe, by process of elimination, Optic is better than FaZe.
Yeah, to some point, yeah.
So why wouldn't Vitality lose to FaZe if they lose to Optic?
I just think Vitality has a better chance of beating them. I don't even know why I'm even saying that, to whatever means that may be. I mean, I'm just thinking crazy. But I think having to see Vitality as a great EU team that they are, placing so well with Epsilon being 6-0 in tournaments, that they're so well of a team, and having players that have placed so well with Tommy there and the rest of the guys that are under them. I mean, it's tough because they are playing in the EU as well. So that's, like I said before, they're playing in their home, in their town. It's gonna be a lot different because seeing as they have the advantage now over there, they're going to the UK to play them. I think Vitality has a better chance. Not to say just because they have better server, better online play, doesn't matter. It's all about gun skill and how well they can outslay or outdo each other, whatever. At the end of the day, it's gonna be a tough matchup. I think it's going to be a good game. Whether people say FaZe destroys Vitality, I think Vitality has a good chance. They have a very good chance to face off with FaZe Clan and give them a good run for their money. But I think they got a good chance of beating them.
But overall, you would say Optic Gaming is probably the best team in this tournament?
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that, yeah.
Optic Gaming to win Gfinity. Me and Ghost both agree on that. But if you guys have any other, different opinions in the comments down below, please feel free to let us know what your thoughts are. Maybe you have Optic Gaming winning as well, or maybe you have a dark horse making it through the tournament, maybe a European team. We'd love to read what you guys have to say in the comments down below. But as always, it's been Dunkster. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Take care of yourselves, guys. And as always, stay awesome.